Hey, Martin, did you hear us?
Marcin?
I
don't know if he's frozen.
Yeah, it looked like he. You there?
Let's
this
give Marcin a moment to get his
Okay.
connection sort of sorted out. In the meantime, oh, there he is back again. Can you hear us, Marcin?
okay. I can hear you, Mr. Chair. This meeting is being recorded for minute-taking purposes, as well as for posting of the
Hey, Susan, do you have that information in front of you that Martin is reading?
I don't, but I will wing it, as well as for
Okay.
posting on the agency website. And there is a live stream available, and I think we will turn it over to the chair for introductions. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Susan. Hopefully Marcin can sort out his mechanical issues. Let me start by welcoming you all to this meeting. Let me also start by taking a roll of the directors present. This is Charles Klippel, present. Oh,
Hey, Martin,
Marcin
can you? All right. Hey, Susan, do you have
usually
the link
does
in
this
front of you?
by
Yes.
calling
Hi.
on people.
Go ahead, Margot.
My apologies. It's Margo. I'm happy to pitch in. Good morning, everybody. I'll call the roll now. Chairman Charles Klippel.
Yes, present.
Thank you. Paul Philpott.
Here.
Thank you. Grant Ritter.
Here.
Thank you. Deirdre Gifford. Steve Hernandez. Matthew Brockman.
Here.
Thank you. Thomas McNeil.
Present.
Thank you. Dina Berlin.
Here.
Thank you. Andrea Barton Reeves.
Peter Hadler here on behalf of Andrea Barton Reeves.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Kathleen Holt.
Here.
Thank you. Claudio Gualtieri.
Here.
Thank you. Paul Lombardo.
Here.
Thank you. Dr. Manisha Jufani. And Carlene Zambetti.
Here.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. If I could ask the executives of Access Health to introduce themselves as well. James, starting with you.
Thank you. Good morning, all. James Michelle, CEO of Access Health Connecticut.
Good morning, everyone. Holly Swick, Director of Finance, Access Health Connecticut.
Good morning. This is Rebecca McClear, Director of Technical Operations and Analytics, Access Health CT.
Good morning, everybody. Susan Rich-By, Director of Legal and Governmental Affairs, Access Health Connecticut.
Good morning, everyone. Caroline Roulette, Director of Marketing, Access Health CT.
Good morning, John Carbone, Director of Small Group Product Development and Broker Support.
Good morning, Glenn Jurgen, Director of Human Resources, Access Health CT.
Good morning, Tammy Hendricks, Director of Health Equity and Outreach, Access Health CT.
Good morning, Marquise Davis, Director of IT, Access Health CT.
Okay, thank you very much. I understand we have no public comment today, so we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is to approve or to comment on, and if there are no comments, approve the minutes of the last meeting. So are there any comments about the minutes from the last meeting? Questions, edits? Hearing none, then I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
This is Paul, motion to approve.
Thanks, Paul. Second?
Kathy Holt, I'll second.
Thank you, Kathy. Any further questions? If not, Charles Klippel, yes. And again,
Okay, Mr. Chair, I hope you can hear us.
Yeah,
You
perfect.
can hear me. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
perfect.
Thank you so much. We appreciate for the little technical obstacles before. Paul Philpott,
Yes.
Grant Ritter,
Yes.
Deidre Gifford, Steven Hernandez, Matthew Brockman,
Yes.
Thomas McNeil, Mr. McNeil, Dina Berlin,
Yes.
Peter Hadler,
Hi, I believe actually Andrea Barton-Reeves is actually on the call, so I can defer to her to take the vote if she would like to do so.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Reeves.
Yes, if Deputy Commissioner Hadler is there, then I am going to leave because it is a day off and I'm about to get on the road. So Deputy
All
Commissioner
good,
Hadler,
thank you.
it's all on you. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Cheers.
Peter Hadler,
Yes.
thank you. Kathleen Holt,
Yes.
Claudio Gualtieri.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. James, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I have a very brief report this morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm James Michelle, the Chief Executive Officer of Access Health Connecticut. Before we begin, I wanted to share that we are continuing to do all we can to raise awareness about the potential enhanced subsidies expiring on expiration at the end of this year. As you know, these subsidies will expire unless Congress takes action to extend them before December 31st. I have been traveling around the state, speaking to board members, elected officials, and other stakeholders about the potential impact on the Connecticut residents. I've also been talking to my colleagues around the country whose customers would likewise be deeply affected by the expiration. In addition, our advertorial regarding the importance of keeping these subsidies ran in 19 publications across the state of Connecticut earlier this year. We are continuing to monitor what is going on in Washington, D.C., and how our Medicaid and qualified health plan customers may be affected. Our meeting today will begin with an update from Holly, Director of Finance. Holly will share our third quarter budget report and our fiscal year 2026 proposed operating budget. Both of these budgets were shared at our Finance Committee last week and were unanimously approved. Next, Tammy Hendricks, Director of Health Equity and Outreach, will give an update on the Broker Academy. We are now in the fourth year of the Broker Academy. It gets stronger and better each year. Over the past 3 years, our Broker Academy graduates have earned over $477,000 in commissions. They also have brought to Access Health. They are also responsible for $1.1 million in assessment revenues for Access Health over the last 3 years. So I think that accounts that they're more than paid for the amount of money we've invested in developing them. And most of that investment was supported by grants. We are looking forward to another successful year of this program. After that, Susan Richby, Director of Legal and Government Affairs, will conclude the meeting with a legal and policy update on the Affordable Care Act. Mr. Chairman, I would pause now for any questions. If not, we can move on to the next item.
Thanks, James. Any questions? If not, let's talk about the budget.
Good morning, everyone. Holly Zwick, Director of Finance, Access Health CT. Good morning, Chairman Klippel, members of the board. I hope everyone is doing well. As James just stated, today we will be discussing the fiscal year 25 quarter 3 budget, as well as the proposed budget for fiscal year 2026. This information was shared with the Finance Committee last Thursday, and they voted unanimously to approve these budgets. Next slide, please. This slide shows a summary of our fiscal year 25 third quarter budget versus actuals. So as of March 31st, 2025. Access Health is currently $1.3 million under budget, primarily due to timing. Our shared budget with DSS is approximately $522,000 over budget. On a gross level, we remain under budget by nearly $793,000. The overage on the DSS side is attributable to rising labor costs in the call center and increased IT maintenance expenses. Next slide, please. Here we provide a more detailed comparison of the fiscal year 25 budget versus actuals as of March 31st of this year. On the revenue side, we are over budget, driven by stable interest rates and higher than projected assessment revenue. While we secured a $200,000 cybersecurity grant last quarter, the funding has not yet been received and is therefore not reflected in these figures. On the expense side, savings have been realized due to the timing of staff hiring and project initiation. Next slide, please. As you can see, the fiscal year 25 operating budget as of Q3 is under budget by approximately $248,000, which will be going to the reserves. Next slide, please. This slide shows the full year budget adjusted after 3 quarters in more detail. On the revenue side, we were over budget by approximately $755,000 after the third quarter. We were awarded the cybersecurity grant for $200,000. Interest income has increased as rates have remained steady, and calendar year 25 assessments are higher than projected. On the expense side, we are below budget by just under $248,000, as I just mentioned. We are seeing vacancy savings in salaries and fringe, and we're saving contractually as some of our contract work has been moved to IT enhancements. Equipment and maintenance increased due to higher costs for IT and system maintenance, and IT enhancements rose due to ICRA project work in the development and implementation phases. With the combined revenue increase of $755,000 and the expense decrease of $248,000, we are expecting to put roughly $1 million in the reserves at this point. Next slide, please. Our fiscal year 25 shared cost budget with DSS remains flat after the third quarter. Now I'll pause for any questions on the fiscal year 25 Q3 budget. Okay.
Thank you. Any questions?
Next slide,
Hearing
please.
none. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Marcin, we want a vote on approving the FY 25 third quarter budget. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
All right. Again, a call for any questions or comments on the presentation we just received. If not, then I would ask for a motion to approve the budget we just looked at.
Tom McNeil, so approved.
Thank you, Tom. Second?
Paul, second.
Paul, thank you very much. Any further comments? If not, then Charles Klippel, yes.
Thank you. Paul Philpott,
Yes.
Kron Ritter,
Yeah, yes.
DJ Gifford, Steve Hernandez, Mr. Hernandez, Matthew Brockman,
Yes.
Thomas McNeil,
Yes.
Mr. McNeil. Thank you. Dina Berlin,
Yes.
Peter Hadler,
Yes.
Kathleen Holt,
Yes.
and Claudio Galtieri.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Next year.
Thank you, Marcin. Our proposed fiscal year 2026 operating budget emphasizes IT investments, outreach, and addressing health disparities, all aimed at advancing our mission to reduce the number of uninsured residents, improve the quality of healthcare, and reduce health disparities. Additionally, IT security remains a key priority and is an integral part of our daily operations. Next slide, please. Our fiscal year 26 proposed budget is projected to increase by approximately $4.4 million, which I will show in more detail on the next slides. Access Health's operating expenses are also expected to increase by $4.4 million, mostly driven by the new enrollment system, 10Clicks, as well as ICHRA, and on a lower level salaries as we will be converting some of our contractual staff. Next slide, please. Our shared budget with DSS will be increasing by approximately $514,000. For the fiscal year 26 proposed budget, we anticipate an increase of $150,000 in grant income, bringing the total to $250,000. This growth reflects our efforts to closely analyze the current grant landscape and actively engage both our internal and external stakeholders. We anticipate interest income to exceed the fiscal year 25 levels, as interest rates have not declined as quickly as we initially projected and are expected to remain stable in the foreseeable future. Let's see here. Conversely, other income is projected to decrease due to slightly lower rebates and the departure of several vendors who previously utilized credit card payments. Marketplace assessments are estimated to rise by approximately $4.2 million, continuing the current rate of the 1.85 basis points. This reflects the increased assessment of premium dollars under the current enhanced subsidies. The affordability of health insurance, including dental and coverage, has led to more individuals obtaining insurance, thereby expanding the premium base subject to assessment. It's important to note that our actuarial forecast from Wakely this year showed a substantial decrease in revenue to Access Health if enhanced subsidies are allowed to expire at the end of the current calendar year. This will have a significant impact for fiscal year 28 moving into fiscal year 29. Assessments are based on the premium filing reports from 2 years ago, so the 2026 reports will be available in 2027 and used for the calculations in 2028. On the expense side, we are projecting an increase of approximately $515,000 in salaries and fringe, driven by a 3% merit increase. Additionally, we have budgeted a 7% rise in health insurance costs, reflecting the average increase observed over the past 3 years. We are also transitioning some contracted work in-house. After some discussions with the directors, we figured that this approach was more effective and efficient. By analyzing the overall numbers and reducing overtime, we determined the hiring of 4 enrollment specialists for our Health Equity and Outreach Department is a strategic decision that aligns with our goals. And the next line item, temporary staffing, is expected to remain flat. And then moving on to the contractual line item, this item encompasses the call center, operations, marketing and outreach, and vendor contracted resources. We are proposing an increase of approximately $222,000 to this line item, primarily driven by ICHRA marketing efforts and the Connecticut DRS check the box mailing. To explain a little about that, in 2023, the Connecticut General Assembly passed Public Act 23-204, granting legislative authority for Access Health to collaborate with the Department of Revenue Services on outreach initiatives aimed at informing state residents about their health coverage options. As part of this partnership, the Connecticut income tax return now includes an option for residents to authorize DRS to share their information with Access Health, enabling us to connect with them regarding coverage options through the exchange. Consequently, the mailing costs for this outreach have increased. Regarding equipment and maintenance on the next line item, this includes software licensing, system maintenance, and equipment purchases. And we project an increase of approximately $461,000. This rise is attributed to the additional maintenance required for the new ICHRA platform. And then we move on to IT enhancements, which is proposed to increase by approximately $2.9 million to support the investment in a new enrollment system that we refer to as 10Clicks. Over the past 3 years, we have diligently developed a plan to replace our current enrollment system, and we are now at the stage where we are ready to move forward with this project. The current system has become increasingly costly to maintain and update, requiring significant annual expenditures. The new system will be more secure, agile, and responsive to legislative changes, enabling timely and efficient updates as needed. Additionally, it is designed to significantly enhance consumer experience, facilitating faster enrollment and delivering a seamless process overall. We anticipate that this improved experience will lead to increased enrollment, which in turn is expected to reduce call volumes to the call center, which is a positive outcome for both operational efficiency and customer satisfaction. Moving on to travel. Travel is estimated to increase a bit because we are back to our normal travel pattern post-COVID, and travel has become much more expensive. Finally, the other administrative line item is increasing by roughly $35,000. This line item includes rent, insurance, utilities, staff development, office cleaning, and professional subscriptions. And that was a lot. Now I'll pause for questions in a moment. Slide 17, please. Our fiscal year 2026 proposed shared cost budget with DSS is increasing by approximately $500,000. Our call center costs continue to rise, driven by increasing minimum wages, inflation, and higher IT maintenance expenses. As the largest line item in our budget, we remain committed to mitigation efforts. DSS and Access Health are working collaboratively to enhance call quality and reduce wait times. Thanks to the recent RFP process, our new call center contract has successfully kept costs at bay for now. While we continue to leverage available technology, these costs have also seen an upward trend. We will persist in working with DSS to explore ways to reduce IT maintenance costs without compromising IT security. Next slide, please. We are projecting to end fiscal year 25 with approximately $19.5 million in reserves, which equates to 6.3 months of operating funding. Our goal is 9 months, so we will have reached 70% of our goal by June 30th of this year. Are there any questions on the fiscal year 26 proposed budget?
James, this is, I mean, there's obviously a significant uptick both in revenue and expenditure in this budget. You might just say a general word about the sort of opportunity that you are using here to finance, among other things, the 10-click program.
Well, thank you, Charlie. As Holly indicated, we started the process of looking at our current system, finding how inefficient it is, but more importantly, looking at different options available to us to create a new system or fix the current system, make it more efficient, more effective. Based on our assessment, our research, a total new system makes the most sense for us. And I had a financing strategy. It just so happened that the enhanced subsidies came out of nowhere to provide us the funding over the next 2 years to develop the new system, and without any cost, any increased cost to an assessment. But while we're doing that, we're also going to continue to look for grant opportunities to support the development of our new technology. So Charlie, to answer your question, Charlie, what we want to do, we're going to leverage this temporary revenue that we are getting, because it's temporary. Because after the next 2 years, if the enhanced subsidies are not renewed or extended beyond this year, there will be a significant drop based on our actual projections in revenue streams to Access Health. So therefore, we have to develop the system, become more efficient, so that when the revenues do drop, the impact to Access Health will be minimal from an operational perspective, where we will hopefully realize some of the deficiencies while we continue to help improve the quality of services, the application process to Connecticut residents. So I hope that answers your question, Charlie. We are currently receiving additional revenues that when we started this process of creating the plan for the for 10 clicks. We had some ideas on how we're going to fund it out of grants and partially reserves. We don't have to rely on grants. But if we do, while we're going to continue to apply for grants to support this effort, any grant that comes in, we will leverage it to pay for the software. Any excess revenue that we have will go into reserves, so we could achieve our 9-month objective earlier than we planned.
Which I think is to my mind, a great use of this opportunity. I think to anticipate making the business more efficient while you've got the revenue to do it, so that we can weather what may be leaner times in the future, is a great idea. So from my perspective, that's a very good choice. Any comments before we open it up more generally? Any comments from the Finance Committee on this issue? And then if not, I would ask. We've got at least one question from Peter. So, comments from the Finance Committee? Okay, Peter?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that overview and summary. Are you expecting to have DSS funding involved in any aspect of the 10 clicks? And also, is there a role for DSS programs? Is 10 clicks going to be touching on any aspect of Medicaid or Covered Connecticut? Or creating a separate portal and separate doorway for QHPs aside from the current blended pathway?
Peter, thank you for that question. No, we are replacing the current system as it is currently designed, meaning that there will be no wrong door. If you come to Access Health or DSS, you will be able to apply for Medicaid or QHP. Again, you go through our application process. The law requires that we first check to see if you qualify for Medicaid. If you do, we will send you to DSS as we do now. So that will not change. All right. So, and now, by the way, DSS has been part of this process since we started. Now they are becoming more engaged as we go into the RFP process. So they are meeting regularly with the Access Health team to have their input, and they will be part of the evaluation. Whoever comes in, whoever gets this contract, they'll be part of the process to decide. So again, the ultimate result of this process will keep Access Health and DSS connected at the hips. One of our concerns is leveraging the state current system, which I'm talking about BITS. Which puts us at the bottom of the list for any security issues, which IRS and CMS frequently tags us, and we have to work with BITS to get them resolved. That's one of our biggest challenges. How do we continue to work with that? Because BITS is responsible for the entire state, not just Access Health and DSS. And since we are a small player for them, we don't always get the response. Quick response that we need, but lucky for us, IRS and CMS have been working very closely with us to give us the time to make the adjustments. Peter, I hope that was helpful.
Yes.
Answering the questions.
It is. I guess there's two parts I just very quickly like to follow up on. One, which are you expecting that there will be DSS asks of DSS to contribute financially to putting in an APD or other funding document to support this? And I would also ask that DSS be added to basic committees like the steering committee. We don't currently have anybody sitting on that group, and I think that the DSS involvement in this needs to be more significant.
Yeah. So yes, we started the conversation with APD process with DSS. So that is in the works, all right. And but the working with DSS, being part of the steering committee, we've discussed it internally with Access Health. I'm going to have a conversation with the commissioner about that as we move forward. As to who does she want in that steering committee? Because we are looking for a senior level person to be part of that, because that's a decision oversight committee. So we need somebody who's really a decision maker for DSS to help us drive decisions on the fly. So I'll follow up with Commissioner Reeves on that process.
Thank you.
Hey,
So
Charlie,
we were
it's Paul. I
volunteering
got
there,
a
Peter.
question.
The important questions. Any further discussion on this proposed budget before we?
Mr. Chairman,
vote?
I think Paul Philpott said he had a question for us.
Yeah, sorry, Paul.
So my question, James, is I think that what I'm hearing is that obviously there's a measure of risk involved in terms of the increased market assessment.
Correct.
So I guess I would ask, and you don't have to give me a detailed answer, but maybe at some point down the road, I'd like to hear your thinking on how we're going to manage around that. And I'm thinking about things like alternative sources of funding, avoiding long-term contract commitments, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because I got a feeling you're going to end up needing to do that at some point. And it might be sooner than we think.
So Paul, we have a plan to anticipate. The good thing is we have about a 2.5 year window to put together a plan and start executing it. And we do. I have a small team within the SLT made up of finance, IT, operations, and HR. That's where we are creating a process to identify what are the areas of the organization that we could, I don't want to say eliminate, but shrink without impacting quality and service to our customers. And also, we're also going to look. I'm giving an overview. Also, as individuals leave the organization, we're going to do a very deep dive look. Do we still need this? Do we still need this position, or can we spread the work they're doing across the remaining staff in Access Health? And again, a strategy in preparation for the reduced revenues, so that when we do have, if this does happen, we'll be in a better position to absorb it with minimal impact to our staff and to our operational efficiency and effectiveness. And also, by then, 10 Clicks will be up and running. It will make us more efficient. And the call center, where we anticipate getting by the biggest bang for our buck, a reduction in cost in the course, because there'll be a lot of self-serving, leveraging AI in the new environment for both Access Health and DSS. So we think that we're taking this every step we need to take right now. We are taking them operationally and technologically to put us in the best position to absorb a reduction in revenues. Again, in 2 to 3 years from now. So your point, Paul, we do have a strategy that we're laying out, and we'll share it with the board, with the finance committee, and when we get it all finalized. Again, this is in the anticipation of what may happen at the end of this year.
James and Paul,
thank you very much.
Yes.
I would reinforce the other part of Paul's comment, which is I think it is important, and I know, James, you're already thinking about this, think about ways of also improving the revenue or diversifying the revenue for the exchange so that it's on solid footing as best we can make it. So for a future meeting, but I know you will also talk about that possibility at some point.
Absolutely, that's part of the strategy, and we're still laying that out in terms of additional revenue streams. Consistent revenue stream as opposed to grants whose every year it changes up and down. So yes, Mr. Chairman, we are looking at that as well. We'll come to the board, go with strategy and finance and the board. Again, we gotta get moving on this because we have 2 years to develop this possible revenue stream.
Yeah.
All right. So
Claudia, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Claudia Gutierrez has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just heard a reference to potential use of AI, and I just want to make sure that there's a lot of legislative activity this session around AI and the potential regulation of it. So I just wanted to flag that as we consider developing a strategy around embedding that into some of our processes and improvements, we just need to be mindful, maybe take a pause and look at what comes out of this session and make sure that we're aligning with the new regulatory regime that may pass. Thank you.
Claudio, thank you for that comment. You know, we have a watchdog within the organization that's called Susan Richby, and she doesn't let us do anything that's going to violate federal or state statutes. So again, we are far away from incorporating anything into a new system. We know what we want in the system based on the work we've done so far. We're going to put an RFP out. Then it's going to come in and propose to us ways to address our needs and requirements. And we anticipate AI will be part of it. And by then, the law will be pretty clear what we can and cannot do. So anything we do, we will stay within the boundaries of federal and state statutes.
Yes, thank you, James. As someone here at OPM who relies very heavily on a similar watchdog from the same household, I agree. They keep us on the straight and narrow, and that's great. Just following up on that, maybe we need to also be proactive. I mean, if we see a use case that's critically important to Access Health, maybe we should proactively make sure that the proponents of some of those bills are aware of the good use cases that we think we want to preserve, just so that they're being mindful of it. Just on, not just on defense, but maybe if there's something we need out of the bill, we should probably engage more proactively as well. Thank you.
Will do. Just as a quick, the system we're going to develop, we have to meet two agencies within federal government, IRS and CMS requirements, the state of Connecticut requirements. And so again, we have a lot of laws we got to build into the system to make sure that, again, as you know, we get audited every year by CMS as well as the state of Connecticut auditors. And so far, they found some minor issues, meaning state auditors, but the IRS, CMS have not found any issues at all with what we were doing. So we'll continue that track record of compliance with all regulations or requirements.
Any other questions about this proposed budget? Because we need to bring it to a vote, but I don't want to cut off discussion.
Charlie, if I may, from the finance perspective, obviously, I think anytime you see that we're making a pretty sizable, little over a 10% increase in total investments in our budget this year, and I just want to note that it's the expectation of the Finance Committee, as it should be the expectation of the board, that these are investments that seize to take advantage of a unique opportunity we have, namely launching ICHRA in a way that really could provide support for nonprofit providers to address their healthcare cost needs, other employers, both small and mid-sized, that may take advantage of this unique offering and the platform that Access Health has just initiated. And so it's prudent, I think, and so did the Finance Committee, to make some significant investments to try to get critical mass for the ICHRA program. And secondly, some of the other investments that I think are going to have impact in the organization more than just 1 year. You know, the infrastructure build, the IT upgrade, and making the interface with consumers a lot easier. I think that's only going to get more critical given some of the uncertainty around what type of federal supports may exist and what options people may have and may be needing to look for. So certainly recognize that this is a new investment that we've made, but also one that we're fortunate to be in a position to make because the revenues can support it. And I think the board will be working very closely with the leadership of Access Health to make sure we're driving to really impactful outcomes on the exchange, more membership, growth of ICHRA, and a general user experience that's enhanced. So thank you.
Great comments and great summary, particularly flagging the importance of ICHRA, I think, coming up. And again, the fortuitousness of the timing here, that we have a little moment to invest in it, which is great. So I appreciate the comments. Any further thoughts? If not, then I would ask for a vote, or at least first a motion to approve the proposed fiscal 2026 operating budget.
Mr. Chair, this is Claudio. I move adoption of the FY 2026 proposed operating budget.
Thank you, Claudio. Second?
Tom McNeil, second.
Thank you, Tom. Any last words? If not, Charles Klippel, yes.
Okay, thank you. Paul Philpott,
Yes.
Ron Ritter,
Yes.
Deidre Gifford, Steve Hernandez, Mr. Hernandez, Matthew Brockman, Thomas McNeil,
Yes.
thank you. Peter Hadler, Dina Berlin, sorry,
Yes.
thank you. Peter Hadler,
Yes.
Kathleen Holt,
Yes.
and Claudio Gualtieri.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have a, investment report?
Yes, I do.
Please.
Thank you, Chairman. Let's see, Holly Zwick, Director of Finance, Access Health. Let's see, this brings to the investment report. I'll be brief. The objective for Access Health's exchange funds is to obtain the maximum rate of return while preserving the principal and providing immediate liquidity. Access Health invests in the State of Connecticut Treasurer's Short-Term Investment Fund, also known as STIF. This account is available for use by the state's funds and agencies, and state statutes authorize these pooled investment funds to be invested in U.S. government and agency obligations. These investment pools are under the control of the state treasurer. Next slide, please. The year-to-date earnings on the STIF account are $882,212. And Access Health CT's investment portfolio is in compliance with our investment policy, and we can meet our expenditure requirements for the next 9 months. And that concludes my presentation. I'd like to thank everyone.
Thank you. Any comments on the investment report? Terrific. Thank you very much for all the
Thank you.
information. James, I'm not sure who's doing the Broker Academy update.
It's gonna be Tammy.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Tammy Hendricks, Director of Health Equity and Outreach at Access Health CT. I'm going to lighten the mood. I'm excited to give you all an update on year 4 of the Broker Academy. We are moving full steam ahead, currently reviewing applications. So I'll start with that process. We did extend the initial deadline by a week to accommodate some last minute applicants as we've done in previous years. And there's actually a really great backstory to that. In our very first year, the last applicant that came in, and he is now one of the highest producing brokers on the exchange right now. So we've learned to leave room for the great talent that comes in right at the buzzer. So this year, we officially closed the application with 109 applicants, exceeding last year's total. And as you can see, the web traffic data really surged in March due to the application being open. So breaking down the applications that were submitted by the deadline, those applicants came in from 45 different towns across Connecticut. The majority of applicants, about 61%, identified as female, which continues to be a strong trend in this program and not something that we do intentional. And for the first time, we are seeing a slight shift in the majority ethnic group, with 28% identifying as Hispanic or Latino, followed by African American applicants, which was the reverse in previous years. As for logistics, we are thrilled to partner with CT Leads, who have generously offered their space in both Danbury and New Britain to host our classes at no cost. So we're really excited about that. And finally, our class days this year are scheduled for June 7th and 8th, so just on the weekend, which is new for us. We did do a lot more on the back end to improve the learning experience for the students this year. So we'll be offering students access to the online learning portal as we've done in previous years, but they'll have even more resources and access to instructors virtually as well. And we'll continue on with our weekly meetings leading up to the in-person class. So this allows students to come in to the 2-day session with better prepared. And so that's why we've reduced the in-person requirement from 3 days down to 2 days. And that was after conversations and approval with the Kaplan training team. So that's where we are with year 4. I'm really excited about the momentum, and I'll pause here for any questions.
Great success. It's terrific. Any questions or comments?
Charlie, it's Paul. I got a quick question.
Sure.
Tammy, do we have minimum production requirements for our broker force?
Charlie, we don't.
Okay.
I mean, not Charlie, I mean, Paul, we don't. Sorry.
Okay. I would just ask you to take a look at that in the context that my experience with this, having worked with brokers for many, many years, generally there are no problems with anybody that's active, okay? But when you get your broker force up to a certain size, and a considerable size, and ours is pretty big now, you know, I tend to worry about the ones that aren't active, okay? Because we're responsible for their activities, right? And if they're really not going to be engaged, we probably ought to have some type of process for those people that just really aren't engaging anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, Paul, because
Yes.
we do invest every year certifying brokers on the exchange for both shop and individual. Every year we update our training. They have to come and get certified, and they have to invest their own time to get certified, pass an exam. We know the carriers, the 2 carriers, they do have their minimum production as part of their broker requirements. I know they have that, but we currently don't have that. So something I will talk to John and working with Tammy and John. To explore to see whether or not is there something we should add to it. As you know, we don't pay the brokers anything at all. All the commissions come through directly from the carriers, but it's a novel idea. I think we should take a good look at it and report back to you and the board.
Okay. I mean, it's just that I'm not worried about the brokers that don't go through our academy. I mean, the ones I'm talking about are the ones that we recruit, train, and, you know, they're licensed. You know, we support them in getting their licensure. So anyway, I just would food for thought for you and Tammy and John, probably, I guess.
Yes, will do.
Thank you.
Noted. Thank you.
Great comment. Any other comments or questions? Tammy, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Susan, apparently James is actually giving you a chance to speak this time. So.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hi, everybody. Susan Richby, Director of Legal and Governmental Affairs. Just here with a brief update on ACA policy and legal matters. As I'm sure if you read the news or listen to the news, there's a lot going on in this space as well as in many other spaces nowadays. So first, we'll take a few minutes to just talk about the Braidwood case, which is the preventative services challenge that we've been following for the last few years. The name of the case has changed right now because it is before the Supreme Court for review. It is now called Kennedy versus Braidwood. The federal government is actually appealing to the Supreme Court on the Fifth Circuit's decision that we talked about a few months ago. And the hearing before the Supreme Court will actually be taking place next week on April 21st, 2025. So very timely for our meeting today. So just a reminder, this case is challenging the preventative services requirements of the ACA, which require that preventative services under recommendations under coming from certain agencies, that those services not have a cost share to the member applied to them, and that they be covered under the plan. And the challenge in the Braidwood case relates to an employer challenging the coverage of PrEP, the medication that is an HIV prevention medication. So in the Fifth Circuit Court, which followed the lower court, the district court in Texas, the federal court argues that the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, which is the recommendation that really covers the majority of the preventative services that we think of, cancer screenings, you know, things for healthy infants and children, all sorts of screenings there, that it violates, the lower court's ruling was that it violated the appointments clause and made it unconstitutional. So the federal government's appeal to the Supreme Court right now is arguing that it does not violate the appointments clause, and there's a very strong argument for that, but that if the court does deem it to be unconstitutional on that ground, that the court should follow its prior rulings in cases such as this and sever that provision, but uphold the preventative services recommendations from the Preventative Services Task Force. So we will keep our eyes on that and keep you posted on this important case. Martin, if you go to the next slide, please. Thank you. Also, as we sent a memo out to the board, the new administration at HHS issued a proposed rule on marketplace integrity and affordability. That was issued on March 10th, 2025, and there was a very short public comment period that closed on April 11th. We did submit some comments on there, and we also joined with our colleagues in NASHP, the National Academy of State Health Policy, for some general high-level comments as well. The proposed rule states that it seeks to provide relief from rising healthcare costs through this regulatory action deemed to focus on reducing waste, fraud, and abuse. It proposes to change a number of different things with a variety of different potential implementation dates. Some of them would be immediate, some of them would be for open enrollment for 2026, and some may be for 2027. One of the provisions that's getting some attention is seeking to roll back the DACA rule, the recent change for eligibility for DACA recipients. And then there's a whole host of other items, that will have an impact for consumers, most importantly, but also for exchanges to implement in potentially a short time period. So we will keep you posted on that. We are anticipating that they will issue a final rule hopefully in maybe the next month or so that everybody can have some certainty on where we stand. So if you go to the next slide, please, Martin. And finally, the last item, what James has talked about, we've mentioned today, and just we've been talking about for several months, actually years, the potential expiration of the enhanced subsidies that came about as a result of the American Rescue Plan Act in 2021 and continued by the Inflation Reduction Act in 2022. They are set to expire this year unless Congress takes action. As James mentioned, he and his colleagues have been doing a lot of work messaging to a number of different audiences on this important issue all over the state, and there's obviously a lot of focus on this all over the country. Support is building for the extension among members of Congress, including some Republican members of Congress, which is a possible sign. So we will just continue to monitor it and keep up with our efforts about messaging. The big questions would be, if it can happen, what the legislative vehicle would be, what it would be, what kind of bill it would be included in, and the timing. The timing is a really big issue because carriers file their rates at different times across the country, but in Connecticut, their deadline to file with us in the insurance department is June 1st, and usually those rate decisions come out in September, and open enrollment starts November 1. And all of our letters would go out in October. So there's a lot of questions about what the final rates may come out to be, as James has talked about the impact of that. So we will keep you apprised of what happens in that area. And just to follow up what I believe Holly and James have mentioned here, and Chair Klippel, that with this potential expiration, because we assess premiums 2 years in arrears, any big potential impact to enrollment on the exchange, which could happen in 2026, depending on what happens with this congressional action, that financial impact to the exchange's assessment would be in 2028. So we're really keeping that in our mind with all of our planning and being focused on being good stewards of the exchange's finances and doing everything we can for Connecticut residents. So I'll pause for any questions.
Claudio?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Susan, on the market integrity rule, I just want to understand a little bit. My understanding is that one of the multiple recommendations in that pending rule was around gender affirming care, and that it would not have to be required as an essential health benefit. But I'm looking for clarity on what that means from a state options perspective. So does that mean that a state could continue to require it, but then it would be subject to a new mandate not in existence prior to the ACA and entirely state funded? Is that what the play is if this rule goes into effect?
Yes, if the state did require it, and I don't believe there is currently a mandate on that now. So if the state did require it now, it would be a mandate above EHB. And it's not, if you look, our benchmark plan, which includes, the essential health benefits are outlined in the ACA, and it's that the plans have to cover those. It doesn't get into how they cover them. Every state selects a benchmark plan. Connecticut has a benchmark plan that is selected. It's up on the websites. It was a commercial plan from 2014 that is used as the guide for how it is implemented, for the different benefits. So I don't believe gender affirming care is called out specifically in the benchmark plan. The benefits for that care would probably flow under different areas of the essential health benefits, the variety of different services that would be provided for gender affirming care. So it would flow in a variety of ways under the essential health benefits and under the benchmark plan, but it's not called out specifically in our benchmark plan, but that is a potential impact if the state were to require it. And just to remind everybody, the benchmark plan has a time lag. So if the state were to decide to make a change to the benchmark plan in this way or in another way, the deadlines come up pretty quick. So I have to go back and look at May. Actually, it used to be May. It may actually be March. So it's way too late at this point to make a change for 2026. If the state did want to make the change, and any changes to the benchmark plan would be made by the state, which is the insurance department, not Access Health. Any changes that could be made, this year would be for future years. It wouldn't be for 2026 because of the timing required to make changes to the benchmark. But that is something that if the legislature is considering that is something for them to, keep in mind. And this current administration, just to remind everyone, during the first Trump administration was when HHS was really kind of focusing on states mandating benefits above the EHB after that trigger date, and states being required to fund those mandates. And there was reporting, the way it worked out over the years, those reporting requirements never actually went into place. So that is something, it wasn't in this proposed rule, but it's definitely something that may, come up in a future rule from this administration.
That's extremely helpful. Susan, if it's okay, I may follow up offline just so that we can get a sense of, I'm getting a lot of providers reaching out about the status of gender affirming care and potential concerns that they have. So I'd love to huddle with you more on this and understand not only the Access Health implications, but others on the marketplace. Thank you.
Yes, and just to remember the importance of whether something falls under the essential health benefits, the EHB, very much ties to the calculation of the subsidies. The APTC is only for the EHB portion of premium, which is virtually all of the premium anyway. But if the state were to do something that could not be included as EHB, it would be above, just like non-HIDE abortion services, elective abortion services are above EHB, so that premium cost cannot be included in the APTC calculation.
Right, and this came up when we were looking at the subsidies on the exchange, and we noticed it was like 97% of the increase was covered by the subsidies. So people are largely blunted, but that part that's exposed is the part that's state mandates apart from essential health benefits, right, if I recall.
Exactly. Yeah, it's state mandates and for plans that are covering those elective abortion services as well, which is generally very, very small portion of premium.
Any other questions, comments? Susan, thank you so much. Very nice to get these updates. We appreciate it. James, quickly, if you want to talk about the future, and then we have an executive session to follow.
Very quickly, ThinkLex, ICRA. The ICRA will be going live on July 1st. And right now we are in full marketing of the ICRA platform. This past Monday, John, myself, and Kathy Tellerita, we met with Congressman Joe Courtney to give an update on where ICRA is. He's very impressed with what we're doing. And also, at least 6 or 7 states have reached out to us, wanting to know how we are developing the ICRA platform and how is it working. And so asking a lot of questions. So we are very happy to share with them what we've done, where we are. And some of them want to leverage what we have done in our current ICRA. We're developing the platform for their own needs. So ICRA is full tilt forward. We think this will be very helpful to small businesses in Connecticut, and particularly we're gonna target, John and his team are targeting the nonprofits, small nonprofits as we move forward. So ICRA is it. Then ThinkLex will be working very closely with the strategy committee and keep the board informed as to where ThinkLex is as we move forward. And also, our audit will be starting soon. At the end of June, we start the audits. Then we'll come back to the board in the near future with the annual audit. So those are the biggest items that we are focused on right now.
Thanks very much. We have executive sessions scheduled, and I understand that we need to sort of move to that session, then come back to this session to adjourn it. So rather than take an adjournment vote, let me ask that the members of the board switch now to the other link that Marcin sent us for the executive committee meeting. And then at the very end, I think, Marcin, we're going to come back here and vote to close this meeting. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chair. But before we do that, we need to actually have a vote to go into executive session.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we do. Could I have a motion to to move to an executive session, please?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, we have to spell out to discuss personal matters exempt from disclosure under CGS 1-200 parentheses 6 parentheses A. Is there a motion?
Tom McNeil, so moved.
Thanks, Tom. Second?
Claudio Gualtieri, second.
Thank you, Claudio. All right, Charlie Klippel, yes.
Thank you. Paul Philpott?
Yes.
Grant Ritter?
Yes.
DJ Gifford? Steven Hernandez?
Yes.
Matthew Brockman?
Yes.
Thomas McNeil?
Yes.
Dina Berlin?
Yes.
Peter Hadler?
Yes.
Kathleen Holt?
Yes.
And Claudio Gualtieri?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you all to the team from Access Health. I appreciate all your updates today. We'll look forward to the next meeting with you all. Thank you so much. If you will now switch to the executive session meeting, the board members, will speak there. Motion to close the executive session.
Motion to come out of the executive session and close it. This is Grant.
Thanks, Grant. Second.
Tom McNeil, second.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
Charlotte Klippel, yes.
Mr. Chair, is there any discussion on the motion?
Oh,
for
I'm
us?
sorry. Any
It's okay.
any comment or questions or discussions? If not, then Charlotte Klippel, yes.
Thank you. Paul Philpott.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just gonna change the slide because we're also gonna be moving to the adjournment. Thank you. Grant Ritter,
Yes.
Deidre Gifford, Steven Hernandez.
Aye.
Thank you. Matthew Brockman,
Yes.
Thomas McNeil,
Yes.
Dina Berlin, Ms. Berlin, Peter Hadler.
Yes.
Thank you. Kathleen Holt.
Yes.
Thank you. And Claudio Gualtieri.
This is Dina.
Yes.
Yes, I was muted by.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Berlin. Mr. Gualtieri.
Yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Chair, we have one last vote.
Correct, which is to adjourn this meeting. So could I have a motion to adjourn the meeting, please?
So moved. Tom McNeil.
Thank you, Tom. Second.
Paul, second.
Thank you, Paul. Any discussion? If not, then Charlie Klippel, yes.
Thank you. Paul Philpott,
Yes.
Grant Ritter,
Yes.
DJ Gifford, Steven Hernandez,
Aye.
Matthew Brockman,
Yes.
Thomas McNeil,
Yes.
Dina Berlin. Ms. Berlin,
Yes.
thank you. Peter Hadler,
Yes.
Kathleen Holt,
Yes.
and Claudio Gualtieri.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Great to see you. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.